Welcome to lesson 3 in this mini course. Authority is not leadership. In the last lesson, we learnt about authority, its definition, purpose, attributes, sources, and how it is possible to exercise multiple authorities. In this lesson, you will learn the following. 1. The similarities between authority and leadership. Association of authority and leadership. 3. How leadership acquires authority. 4. Opportunities for leadership in authority. And 5. Distinction between leadership and authority. You may have authority over a group of people, but not be their leader. People may carry out your directives due to fear of punishment or the promise of rewards. That doesn't mean you are leading them. Authority is not leadership. Why then do we confuse authority with leadership? We do so because of 1. Similarities and association of leadership of authority. Authority and leadership have similar purposes and share certain attributes. Also, they are closely associated in the sense that pure leadership almost always earns authority, and authority often provides opportunities for leadership. Therefore, we almost always find one within the vicinity of the other. Let's first look at their similarities. Let's discuss 3 noteworthy similarities between authority and leadership. 1. Context of operation. 2. Result orientation. 3. Exertion of influence on subjects. Let's look at them one after the other. Context of operation. One attribute that authority and leadership share is that they both operate within the context of a particular area or a group. Nobody has authority over everything everywhere. For instance, the President of the United States of America does not have presidential authority in the United Arab Emirates. And leadership operates within the context of a group, as we learned in the first lesson. Hence, they both operate within the confines of a group or area. Authority and leadership are both result-oriented. They aim at achieving certain group-related objectives or goals. They are means to ends. Exertion of influence. Thirdly, both exert influence on the people within their jurisdictions. In order to achieve their objectives, they both influence their subjects, although their means of doing so is markedly different. These are 3 important similarities between authority and leadership that make us to confuse them. Association of leadership and authority. Authority and leadership are strongly associated. This is because pure leadership predictably acquires authority eventually, while authority provides good opportunities for leadership. Therefore, more often than not, they exist in the company of one another. Due to their similarities and association, it is sometimes difficult to determine which one is influencing a people in any given situation. How leadership acquires authority. In the service of the group, pure leadership can earn authority from different sources, even if it doesn't always have it from the beginning of its evolution. One way is to acquire expert knowledge about the group, the group's needs, challenges, resources, and strategies to overcome the challenges and fulfill the aspirations of the group. I discuss how this works in greater details in my full course. Many individuals ascended leadership through expertise. Indeed, we expect our leaders to demonstrate expert knowledge in areas useful to their group. Isn't that why we request manifestos or debates from people seeking elective positions? That is like asking them to come and demonstrate their knowledge of the group they want to lead, its problems and strategies to solve those problems. Let's look at Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the premier of the defunct western region of Nigeria, as a case in point. One way Chief Awolowo acquired authority was through deliberate acquisition of expert knowledge on the problems of his group and how to solve them. Beginning as a journalist, newspaper columnist, he kept using various platforms to demonstrate his expertise about his group till he became a co-founder of a political party, leader of the party, and eventually premier of his region. Expert knowledge brought credibility, and with the credibility of expertise came incremental authority. Thus, Chief Awolowo acquired authority through leadership. Therefore, leadership eventually earns authority when a people, through formal and informal processes, willingly give leadership the right and position to head and or lead them, or when leadership is recognized and rewarded with a position by a higher authority, thus giving leadership authority over a jurisdiction. How can authority evolve leadership? Positions of authority provide ample opportunities for leadership. A person in a position of authority might utilize these opportunities. For instance, a director in an organization who inspires willing cooperation among our subordinates will make them yield to our influence and deploy their resources to accomplish the goals of the organization. Thus, she utilizes the opportunity provided by her position of authority to create leadership. By combining authority and leadership this way, she ultimately serves the interest of her employers by genuinely responding to the needs of our subordinates. I think the recent practice of having team leaders in organizational settings attests to the potentials of combining leadership with authority. Having understood their similarities and association, how do we differentiate authority and leadership? The distinction between authority and leadership. In spite of their similarities and close associations, there are still important distinctions between authority and leadership. Three critical ones are: 1. Locus of loyalty; 2. Means of influence over subject and emotions inspired in their subject. Locus of loyalty. The loyalty of leadership lies with the group it leads, and it is accountable to them. The loyalty of authority lies with the giver of the authority, and it is accountable to it. While pure leadership ultimately serves the group, pure authority ultimately serves the giver of the authority. Means of influence over subject. Means of exerting influence over their subject is another important difference between leadership and authority. Pure leadership inspires willing cooperation from its people. On the other hand, pure authority compels obedience due to subjects' fear of penalty or expectation of reward. In leadership, subjects allow themselves to be influenced by leadership because they've bought into it. Probably because they have come to realize that ultimately, leadership serves them. Under authority, subjects also understand that authority serves a higher master with a higher authority or power over them. So, it is in their best interest to comply. Let's look at emotions inspired. Obviously, leadership and authority trigger different emotions in their subjects. One tends to inspire willing cooperation, the other fear. Both trigger a sense of duty in their subjects, but this is born out of very different emotions. These three distinctions clearly set leadership apart from authority. We must therefore insist that authority is not leadership. In conclusion, authority is not leadership. Although they are similar because of purpose, shared attributes, and are closely associated in their operations, yet they are distinct in their locus of loyalty, means of influencing, and the emotions they inspire in their subjects. However, their close association provides ample opportunities for one to be developed in the context of the other. In this lesson, we have covered the similarities, associations, and distinctions between authority and leadership. For your consideration, as we wrap up this lesson, consider the following questions. 1. Who has inspired you to willingly submit to her most in any of the group or organizations you belong? 2. How did she influence you? 3. How can you provide leadership in your position of authority? 4. What specific ways can you acquire more authority as a leader? And 5. How do you influence your subjects? Thanks, and see you in the next lesson.